Hi, I'm Shelley Wilson. I'm a multi-genre author of over 20 books and a writing mentor. Welcome to the Campervan Writer Show. One of the things my writing clients always say to me before they start working with me is, "Oh my God, Shelley, it's all been said before." And yeah, they're right, it has, but not by you. And I think this is the bit that we always forget about, isn't it? We always think that we have to reinvent the wheel. We have to have found that brand new story that nobody else has ever written. That's not going to happen, ever. Let's look at non-fiction first. So let's say that you want to write a business book that is going to propel you into arenas where you can speak on stage, where you can run workshops, where you're going to be on podcasts and invited onto shows. So nobody else has got your life experiences. You might have all trained in the same thing. You might all know certain processes or procedures or strategies, but how you deliver them will be unique to you because of your own life, your own thoughts, your own feelings, your own way of working. And so your non-fiction book are going to be incredibly unique to what you offer. Now, unless you are a lion tamer, where there's probably 10 a penny, you're going to have to be up against others who might have written similar books, but they'll never ever be the same, ever. What you're writing and what you're doing in your job, in your business, whatever that might be, people come to you for a reason. Why? That is going to transfer through into your book as well. Thinking about your ideal client, which is also your ideal reader. So think about what you offer for your business clients that you can put into your book. What's your unique selling point? What is it that makes you you? So that's how you can change that whole "it's all been said before" and make it unique to you. That's non-fiction. Now, fiction is a little bit easier because there's only really 7 basic plots. Now, I've got a great resource for you here. There's a book by Christopher Booker called The 7 Basic Plots. Brilliant resource. Grab it, have a read of it. But in short, the 7 plots are rags to riches, the quest, a comedy, a tragedy, a rebirth, overcoming the monster, and voyage and return. Very, very simple. And you will see them in everything you read, in everything you watch. So here are a few examples for you. Rags to riches, for example. Think about Slumdog Millionaire. That's a great example. If you want to write comedy, you might think about Ted Lasso. Overcoming the monster, you might think about Star Wars or Squid Game, for example. That's a great way of how they've taken the overcoming the monster plot and to totally different types of scenarios. In the quest, you might think about Raiders of the Lost Ark, which I absolutely love indie. But then how about Stranger Things? You couldn't get further from one to the other. Stranger Things, very, well, it's young adult, it's very sci-fi, fantasy, and Raiders of the Lost Ark, very historical, archaeological. 2 totally different things using exactly the same plot. So yes, it's all been said before, but your unique take on that will be what makes it a seller. So what are my 3 top tips for helping you get over that "it's all been said before"? Tip number 1 is to make a list of all your experiences, and that might be your hobbies. It might be your jobs that you've had going right the way back to paperboy or paper girl. Anything that you've done that might be out of the ordinary. I do this as a LinkedIn post sometimes when I'm introducing myself, and I'll do 10 things that you might not know about me in my life and then 10 things in my business. And it always gets a really, really good response because I'll add in the quirky bits and pieces. So the first thing I'll say is I'm 5'11", because when I'm on camera or when you see my profile picture, nobody knows that I'm that tall. And whenever they meet me, they always go, "You're much taller than your profile picture." So it's a great starting point. I also talk about being a turkey plucker one Christmas. Very easy for me to say. I have to make sure I've got my teeth in for that one. I talk about living in a converted cowshed in the Catskill Mountains in New York when I did Camp America. There are so many experiences that I can put into my writing, whether it's non-fiction or fiction, that make it so unique that nobody else has ever experienced or done in my way. I know there were lots of us doing Camp America at that time. We all had our own unique experiences. So that's tip number 1. Write down a list of all your experiences, nobody else's, just yours. You can write down what you learned from them. You can write down who you met along the way, who inspired you, who motivated you to do these things. Good and bad. Don't knock the bad parts of your life, because that gives us so much fuel for our writing. I've used so many of the challenging times in my life as part of scenes, in conflict scenes, for example, in my young adult novels. So nothing's ever wasted in that respect. So make a list of all of your experiences that make you you. Tip number 2, I'm going to go back to it again and again, but it's writing prompts. I just adore writing prompts for so many reasons, and this is another one. If you can have a writing buddy as well, then that's even better. And that might be an online forum, or it might be somebody you know who is also a writer that you can just rock up and have half an hour just writing with. But start with a writing prompt. So it might be something like 2 people meet in a coffee shop. Now, if both of you take that prompt and write, you're going to have 2 very, very different stories because of your own experiences, your own feelings, your own emotions, your own mood even on that particular day. So that's my second tip, is to do the writing prompts, and if you can with a buddy, because that will really show you how just 2 people can take one prompt and bring out something totally different. And tip number 3 is, I want you to think about, why me? Why me? Why am I the right person to write this story? So say it to yourself. Why am I the right person to write this story? What can you share that nobody else has thought of, or nobody else has used in that particular way before? Stranger Things is a great example of taking the 80s generation, if you like, and throwing in the sci-fi and the fantasy and releasing it now, when all of those of us that were kids in the 80s are now in our 50s, 60s, whatever. But we loved that show, not just for the kids, it's for the adults as well. They've really thought it through, taken the basic plot of a quest, and they've reinvented it for a new audience and an older audience like me. Don't calling myself old there, but you know what I mean. So let's recap. Same prompt, different writer, why me reflection, and that personal twist as well. I'll leave you with a great quote. Write like it matters, and it will. Thanks for watching. If any of this has resonated with you, then please do leave me a comment, and be sure to subscribe for future episodes as well. In the meantime, happy writing.